Hi everyone, Lex Gray here. Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 1, our official start to the Lone Rowsdower, which is a character based on the famous Mystery Science Theater episode Final Sacrifice. Now, if you haven't seen the show or you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, I'll try to start fresh with the character obviously in mind as a foundation. Won't be based entirely on the episode story, but it will work its way to it. Disclaimer, I don't know how long this will run. Just having some fun with this. I really want to use this Mystery Science Theater movie's character. Not a character from the show, character from the movie they made fun of. So, again, I talked about this in my last episode, session 0 or episode 0. Mystery Science Theater 2000 is a commentary show, makes fun of old movies, is running in the 90s, and it's kind of back today, has been going for some time now, on and off with different teams from the original show. They make fun of bad movies, the silhouette shadows in the front, looks like they're sitting in the theater and they're watching the bad B movie, public domain, they make fun of it, they commentate, throw jokes at the screen. If that's not your humor, I don't recommend watching it. If you love that stuff, if you like bad movies like I do, I recommend watching the show. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is the Lone Rowsdower. His name is Zap Rowsdower. I'm going to stick with that. Now, will I have other characters from the episode, from the actual Final Sacrifice? Maybe. So, my last, in episode 0, there was a commenter who was familiar with the show because of the joke they written. So Rowsdower, is that a stupid name, or that's a quote from the episode, the actual commentary, the riff? So that goes to show I'm expecting some people to be familiar with the show, with the movie. And that being said, I'll be using the Magic the Gathering cards as inspiration. And I don't think I'm going to do a hex just yet. I'm going to start this very small. We're going to isolate the Rowsdower to a certain situation, a simple linear story. Then we'll expand depending on what I draw in the cards. So again, I have cards here on my deck. I have location cards. I have more so character cards, and then subjective cards like items, situations, imagery, and yeah. So again, this is dark fantasy, as you can see by the picture behind me. It's in the thumbnail. That is Rowsdower himself. That's how AI depicts him based on his thumbnail, which is in my table cam, the bottom left here, bottom right. That is Rowsdower, old scruffy Rowsdower, loner nomad with a mysterious past. Backstory: he's obviously he was with the cult, which is not really a spoiler because that's from the episode again from Mystery Science Theater. But he's trying to drift himself, or he's trying to keep himself away from the cult, drifting really. But he does have a knack for helping the innocent, so keep that one in mind. He is, at first glance, avoidable. A loner, doesn't want to get mixed up in trouble. Again, it's from an outsider's perspective. But deep down, when a situation arises, when he's approached with a problem, he will, if innocent people are at possible bloodshed, he will step in and help. So we'll keep that in mind. Again, we're using Fate. We're using a modified D&D Fate here, Fate RPG, Fate Core, more so Fate Accelerated, which is my favorite out of the 3 flavors. You got Fate Core, you got Fate Condensed, and you got Fate Accelerated. Accelerated is by far my favorite. So, I talked about all that in the previous episode, but just in case you guys missed it, that's what we're going to use. Now, in this specific episode, the dice mechanic, I will be attempting, as you can see, there's only 4 dice here. I will be attempting the Powered by Apocalypse method. Each episode, I'm going to change it out, see how things go. Next one, I might use the actual Fate dice, which I'm not really a fan of. I might just use D20. Again, we're going to experiment, see how the dice can cause the chaos to unfold. But I think Powered by Apocalypse is a good mixture of narrative, and Fate is limited to, +3. So it kind of works with the ranges of up to +4 with the 2d6s. So let's draw our first card and see where Rowsdower starts. Our first card will be... Oh, Lush Oasis. That's fairly peaceful. I did not expect that. This card's kind of reflective, too. I don't know if it's a rare card, but yeah, no knowledge of Magic the Gathering. Just know these cards are great for oracles. So let's say, well, first off, today's date is 2/27. 2026. Hope you guys are having a great February. Now it's going to be March in a couple of days already. So, location, we have an oasis. I'm thinking that Rowsdower is just making his way through a forest, and he took a break. He's just resting. He's been traveling with his trusted companion, his truck in the episode, but in this story, we're using an actual horse. I don't think he has a name for it. I think I'll just call it horse. So there's that. Now, let's see what he's doing in this oasis. I want to draw a card that represents his current narrative pool. So the signet looks like it's a fancy item, an artifact. It says here the sigil holds different meanings depending on its form and presentation. While some wear it as a sign of status, other wear it as a sign of debt. So I think he has this around his neck. It's probably a family heirloom, or it's his wife's, or it is his belonged to his parents. Maybe something happened to his family that's not really explored in the Mystery Science movie. So we're kind of developing it offhand, off the cuff here. We can say that his family probably was killed. That's a fairly vague way to start this. We can work to discovering it later on in the story. But I think this is a family heirloom or some item of great significance. I can probably put it in his notes instead of just writing it in the character in our notes here, his actual character sheet. So I'm gonna say he has a family necklace. Don't know if that will be of any significance, but maybe he's just looking at it. He's just grabbing it from his neck and he's just looking at it while he's just sitting there at the edge of the oasis. This pond, this small little pond, essentially in the middle of a forest and a clearing. And things are surprisingly peaceful at the moment. We can certainly ask the Oracle. That's why I have the D100 dice. I'm going to roll, and I can say if something bad happens, and if I say a percentage, and then if I roll above, it's a no. If I roll below, equal to or less than, it's a yes. That's my standard go-to for a Oracle, a yes/no Oracle. But yeah, the magic cards really are driving this narrative. Okay, so he's just sitting there observing his heirloom. I'm going to keep that off to the side because that is an item. While he's just looking at that thing, something will have to happen. We gotta cause some chaos or something to unfold. So that is the most destroy target creature sorcery the ring attempts to. So these are obviously Lord of the Rings. There's Lord of the Rings deck mixed in here. Obviously, this is Schmeagol, if I'm not mistaken. So you destroy target creature, the ring tempts you, sorcery, claim to precious. I mean, maybe something is drawing him in. He's probably thinking of past events that led him here. Something that, gosh, I have a feeling I probably should be writing this down. So this really does tie in well with the artifacts. So let's line these up here. We have 3 significant cards. We have location, the oasis. We have what he's doing. He's just sitting there. Again, that draw that was completely random. I did not plan that at all. Did not preset that card. That draw was random. This was all these cards are random. Again, this is just one big gathering of cards here. Magic the Gathering. Crickets. So, okay, so basically, we'll start here. Rowsdower is sitting, oasis, thinking of the necklace. And maybe he's recalling dark memories. Maybe his family was murdered, or his village was murdered. I think I will obviously introduce the cult here in the story. So let's say that his backstory, I might write this on the back of the character sheet, not just in here. His most regrettable memory is something to do with the cult and his family and the village he was living in. This cult, his former cult, found him. So he escaped his original cult. We'll have a name for them sometime in the future, not too distant future. And he lived peacefully. He escaped the cult years ago. He grew up, he raised a family. He had a wife. He probably had a couple of kids, the usual generic family. And they found him, maybe inadvertently, but they found him. They destroyed his village. As revenge, the leader, Satoris, I think his name was from the episode. Um, I'll just write that down here. Cult characters, basically. So I'll use Q for characters. We have cult leader. Little quotations there. Satoris. So I believe that was the character from the actual episode, but he has a in the episode again. That's his name, if I recall correctly. He wears a almost a suit, kind of an outdoor suit. Wears a jacket over it, tie, and his hair is almost kind of like mine, actually, if I'm recalling correctly. So I'm completely that's completely coincidental. But he has a very low voice, like it's a low modified voice, that kind of very low tempting voice. Rowsdower, again, these are kind of a mixture of these are Canadian accents. I'm not really good at that, but I'm trying to think of Rowsdower's voice. Low, scruffy, doesn't talk much. Maybe Clint Eastwood at the best, but he has a very distinct voice in the episode. But I'm probably not going to do a good job copying it. But Sator's voice is like this, and Rowsdower doesn't speak much. Probably short bursts like that. I don't know. Not really guaranteeing anything in the sound department here. So he's recalling his memories. He's holding the necklace, and he has his dying wife, in his hands, and that she gives him the necklace. So Taurus is against cult obliterated the entire village. They killed everybody. What a great start for a dark fantasy. So his family's dead. Everyone's dead, unfortunately, and Satoris laughs, looking at him from the distance. They turn around and they leave him alone. So it's like punishment. They're not going to kill him because, again, whatever Zapparowsdower did to escape the cult, they punish him by letting him watch his family die and burn, and all the friends and family around him. So they run off into the smoke, and maybe 5 years later, he is now where he is in this oasis. So let's write that all down before I forget. So this is a good backstory. So backstory. Basically, okay, so let me flip this over here. So family lived peacefully in village, escaped cult maybe 20 years ago, or nah, that's probably too long. Well, okay, so in the movie, he's probably in his 40s or 50s, roughly, got some grays. Um, I'm probably being generous there. In this, he was in his cult in the young age, so 18, 19, 20-ish. He escapes the cult, finds a love interest, get married, they have kids. The kids probably grow up to be maybe 10, 12 years old. So I'm thinking of the age here. So if he leaves the cult at 20, 21 or so, and then maybe 10 years later, he finds someone. So he's probably in his 40s at this point. So maybe the village was destroyed by Satoris and the cult at around 35 years old. So now he's 40. He's just, he's halfway. Yeah, I think 40 is fair to say. So let's put that in here that he is, yeah, I'll just say he's 40 years old. Okay. And yeah, so escape cult, yeah, 20 years later, cult plus Satoris find him, destroy, kill, his family and home. They let uh let him watch his family die, and they leave. Now he's now he's a real drifter. It's again, his past is destroyed. His second past is destroyed. He grew up with a cult, or he grew up into a cult. He tried to change himself, or he tried to escape his past, and it caught up with him. They killed his family, and then now he's just in this oasis, pondering about his past. He blames himself. I mean, the cult found him. They killed his family. I mean, this that makes sense for his character. He is just dark and gloomy, but again, he's not like he's no saint, but he's not a bad guy. He's just broken. He's not corrupt. He used to be. He escaped that hold they had on him, and now he is just. We don't know just yet if he's trying to find Satoris and avenge his family's death. I don't think that's in his blood. I think he's just trying to find a new home. Is he Mad Max? Is he John Wick? Blend of both, perhaps. But I think it's more I think he's more just a drifter than actually like, hey, these guys killed my dog. I'm gonna get them. So, which like the John Wick movies, it just spawns into a bunch of sequels, which love each and every one of them. So let's jump to our next scene. Let's scrap two of these cards, or actually all the cards, and then we'll jump to our next scene. So nothing really bad happens there. I'm going to scrap these two cards. Okay, that's a scene. That's I'm going to use that word a lot. So that's scene one. Just basically that little arrow there. And the next scene will be the star here, location. So he leaves the oasis. Nothing really bad happened. If I drew a card that showed fire or an attack or an ambush, then yes, we would have done, we would have done a little battle with distress there. But let's draw a new location. Let's just grab a random card here in the middle of the deck. And, looks like one wants to come out a little sooner than possibly. Okay, so, yeah, this makes sense. So he's on his horse, and he's making his way down a strangely unique path. So I'll just say a path. It's almost like the Yellow Brick Road here. So he's going down this path with his horse. He's just nothing. He's not really going fast. He's just kind of going steadily. And we will draw a card to see what happens in this path. Okay. So Mind Rot, sorcery. It saddens me to lose a source of inspiration, though this one seemed especially promising. Okay, so he's walking down a path. He encounters something with his mind. We can use the card figuratively or literally. So we got a picture here of a person. They are being tormented with their mind, or we can use the keyword rot there, perhaps. Let me draw one more card for context. It's a good start, but I don't think it's a full picture yet. So maybe my limit is 3 cards to draw for a start. Just a little house rule there. So, a battlefield scrounger. Looks like we have a centaur here. There's a centaur on a hilltop. There's fire. So, I'm thinking while he's walking down that path, he encounters something that reminds him of his past. There's something visual that just triggers a bad memory, and he can see in the distance. Maybe it's fire. Maybe it's a village on fire. It is some settlement that is literally in flames. I think that's what I'm reading here in this card. So he sees a burning settlement. You know what? I'm running on the wrong side here. Sorry about that. I prefer to write on the right. If that makes sense. There you go. So he sees a burning settlement. Okay. And again, he's not really a hero, but he's thinking that this could be, it's too coincidental. Maybe this is like the calling card of the cult. Perhaps he's on their tail unintentionally or inadvertently. He found one of their victims, another one of their sites. It's like how the Joker in The Dark Knight leaves the Joker card, or the first Batman Begins movie. This is like finding Sartorius' calling card, and it is the burning village. So he sees this burning settlement in the distance. I'm saying village or settlement, really, it could be either. Okay, so sorry guys, just got back from a short break. So basically, Rowsdower sees this burning village. This conjures a bad memory, which has to do with this card here. And I'm still trying to figure out what this card is. Maybe he sees someone in the distance that resembles on a hilltop or a. We can, you know, let's roll some dice here. Let's ask if this individual is bad or good. That will really steer my options here. So 50% chance that this person is good and innocent, you know, a survivor of the burning village. 50% or less, it is that. Okay, it is going to be someone who is an obstacle, someone who's a antagonist here. So notices a, I'm gonna put just bad guy here, just kind of keeping it simple here. Sees a bad guy on a hilltop, maybe looking over the burning. You know what? Let's see. I'm asking another Oracle question here. Are there more than, you know, a handful of them? So 75% chance. Yep, there is. So he sees bad guys, plural. Let's say there's 6 plus, like a gang of them on horses, on horseback. And they're kind of on the hilltop. And I don't think, I'm going to just keep it where they don't see Rowsdower. Rowsdower is at a great distance, and he can see this gang of individuals. Doesn't know, maybe we can do our first roll here. So this could be, again, that's the Oracle, if this is his cult that he used to be part of, or this is some new threat. I'm going to roll. Remember, it's been 5 years since his family was killed, and we'll roll some dice here. This will be wisdom because it's a perception roll. So remember, this is powered by the apocalypse, which is a great pun here. Basically, 7 through 9 is a partial success. 10 or more is a standard success. 12 plus is critical. 6 or less is a failure. So he's trying to see if he recognizes the group on horseback. So let's just roll the 2 dice and include our +1. Not his specialty. And of course, that's a 6 total. So that's a fail. He cannot tell who there's too much obstruction of justice in the way. There is just smoke and fire. But he does just see a silhouette of them running off in the opposite direction. So from him's perspective. So I'm going to write fail in perception check. Essentially, the group leaves. And now he has to make his way. Well, I think it's in his interest to try to find any survivors. So we're going to take these cards out, and we're going to the next scene. So I might force a location here, but I want to see where the cards draw. Definitely not an island. So I'm going to put that card back and just draw one more for interest. Yeah, probably. Well, it's a mountainous terrain, so I'm going to force an interest here at a location, and he is going to be in a burnt settlement, burnt, destroyed settlement. There we go. And we're going to draw a card to see what he notices first when he enters. And we have a card here that looks like, it's a little hard to tell what I'm looking at here. But, okay, so there's this magic user assassin lady draining the life force of this individual here. Never happened, basically. That's the card says. dimmer assassins have the precision to slay a single memory. So, okay, that's the first card. Maybe he's trying to. So, oh my gosh, sorry guys, my camera went dark. Okay, so this could be relevant. This could be related to him, or it could be someone he sees in trouble. So let's draw that first card. Now let's draw the second card here. It looks like this is someone fighting a vampire. I thought I didn't have any vampire cards, but apparently I do. So this is a soldier, a sky marcher. So it's someone trying to fight for the life. Maybe they're dying. So he finds a survivor. And I'm going to draw a card to see who the survivor is. I have a pile here. These are NPCs. These are individuals. So I'm going to draw a card here. Oh, okay. So it is a it looks to be a lady character. It's a human merc, but I think it's going to be a female character that is struggling for some reason, and now the camera is overblown. All right, sorry guys, I have my exposure on auto. I didn't realize that, so now it should be set. And so what we need to find out is her condition. So this is her. He finds a female character, so let's write that down. He finds a villager equals, and we'll see what condition she's in. Let's see what condition she's in. 100 is she's healthy. 0, 1, obviously she's dying. 81, she's okay. She is in surprisingly good condition, but I think she's more mentally she's suffering. So those the group of bad guys that swept through, they took something from her, which is this card here. That's the gang right here, and that's her. So it is a female NPC. She is maybe she is looking through rubble. She's looking through her burnt house. I think she would be in far lesser condition if she lost anybody personally, because based on the dice roll. Maybe that dice roll represents her physical condition, so she's not hurt. She's just upset. But I think she's like just going through some of her burnt house. Her house is burnt down, or wherever she was, and we happen to enter the area. Maybe she notices us, and she knows that a group of people on horseback destroyed her village, so her logical reaction will be, oh no, they're back. So I think she freaks out noticing Rowsdower, who's not exactly, a supermodel, and I think we're going to have to roll for like something with charisma to try to calm her. That is not our specialty. Charisma is lowest rated. It's 0. It is his worst obvious trait. He's not good looking. He's a loner, nomad, Mad Max, and this is not his specialty. So this is the worst case scenario. There's a villager who's upset her home was destroyed, and now Rowsdower enters the scene trying to help or about to help, and she turns around, she hears the horse approaching, and our role here will dictate her reaction. So let me adjust the camera once more so you guys can get a little more. All right, let's roll some dice. This is a flat roll, so we just don't know what's going to happen here. Another fail. That's a 6 total. No modifiers. Okay, so we fail to convince her otherwise that we are not. So maybe she starts screaming and she starts stepping backwards. She's like trying to hold some that she's something of her own, like her own goods, her own family items, her personal belongings, and she's stepping back. She screams and she's reacting as expected. And so I think, let's see, she screams like she says, "Not again," or "Not you," stuff like that. Not you. She because we failed a roll. We failed the charisma roll. So she thinks we are the attackers. And again, narratively, our role sums up the entire scene. She turns around, she panics, she sees this guy on a horse. We try to calm us, saying, "No, no, we're not with them. We're here to help." She doesn't believe us. She runs off. Or let's draw a card to see what she does. So these two cards represent what happens to her, but she's still in the scene. So we got to draw a card to see what she does next. Oh, okay. So that's a flying artifact, which means I think that she's throwing stuff at us. So she's throwing like pots and pans or books, whatever. She's throwing. Uh, so she's throwing stuff at us. Let's see, arrow throwing like pots and pans at us. Just personal belongings, whatever she can find, and I think she turns around and runs. But we can ask the Oracle. I think 90% chance she's going to turn around and run. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. She flees. Again, just Rowsdower's general appearance just kind of scared her, caught her off guard. This was a fresh attack, and I let's ask the Oracle. Let me write down. She escapes or she flees, runs away. Yeah, runs away. And let's ask the Oracle if there's anybody else in the village. I think they could be dead, might be a survivor or two, but I'm gonna keep the chances pretty low, so 15%. Nope, that she was like literally the last person at all, at least from what we can see. And so she's gone. So now Rowsdower is in this burnt village by himself. Unfortunately, there's probably, again, this dark fantasy, so there's probably corpses, and this brings back some dark memories for him. So let's draw a card to see what happens next. So she's gone, so we have to draw a card to see what happens next for Rowsdower. And there is, oh, that could be interesting. So essentially, after she flees, this hunter, I don't know if that's him or someone else. Hunter's Edge. Maybe it's just his instinct. Maybe his instinct kicks in. So he sees this innocent, mistakes him for the guilty party, the attacker, and so he is just. This is Hunter's Edge. This could be a scene aspect. I don't do this often, so maybe this will give him a chance. I don't recall if I rolled if this was the cult or not. I totally forgot what my result was. Don't recall if I wrote it down, so let's take a look here. Was this the cult? Sorry, just saw my head in the camera. Hey there. Um, the bad guys, the hilltop. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna just retcon it if it is or not. So yeah, I think it's quite obvious that this is his old cult. I don't think that story-wise, the whole purpose of this one shot or again short campaign, not sure yet. It has to be the cult, and that's the driving force for Rowsdower as a person, or as I should say, as a biggest antagonist. So, Hunter's Edge is a scene aspect. This will let him something familiar to him. Again, the calling card of whatever it is, a symbol, an emblem, a pile of just again dark fantasy, a pile of bodies. That's it. It's a pile of bodies. So. That is really dark, actually. Maybe it's a flag or something, or like a mark on the wall. Some kind of signal, label that shows, yeah, cult was here, move on to the next one. So he sees this. This is a scene aspect. I'm going to let him roll to try to recognize it. And he's able to, oh yeah, I forgot, I need fate points. So fate points, let's just use green. These are the fate points. Okay, so there'll be a free invoke. Basically, I'm letting him invoke this one for +2 on this roll. This is going to be wisdom, so he has a +3. He's looking at the maybe the cult has moved on to new calling cards. They've updated their terms and conditions, so they're trying something new. But they still have that theme of the old days with their new emblem. So he notices that this symbol on the wall, like a burnt house, it's like carved in blood, and that's what we're invoking here with Hunter's Edge. Hunter's Edge is just basically our character's experience with this situation, with this kind of nature. So it's a pre-invoke. I'm going to roll for +1 and +3, which is from the scene aspect. Oh, 10 plus, that's 13. That's a complete success. So this is a star. It's a wisdom roll, whiz roll, 13 plus, a critical. It's a crit. And so he sees familiar symbol, and we have to draw some cards to give him a boost, a +2 in the future, basically +2 like on the trail, tracking these guys. So yeah, that gives him a +2 in hunting down, following, tracking his old cults. So that's a boost he has for the future. It's a plus equals a +2 related to tracking the cult. And with that, he knows what direction they went. Maybe he remembers their old behavior, and he knows they go from like west to east, like a wiping out, settlements. Just this is what they do, or we don't know what they do, what they're doing. If you've seen the episode from Mystery Science Theater, they're trying to find this lost city and raise into the sky. It's very, very, very stupid, but silly. Maybe that's what they're doing. It might change up a bit, but he expects that they're going in that direction, east, and the boost is for tracking him. So, summary, the cult going east, boost to follow, and there you go. So, that will be it for this episode 1. I think this episode 1 was by the book. Everything worked out on paper. We rolled some dice. We had some compelling story, some character building, and it's working out pretty much as I expected. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. So I will keep the used cards off the table in this tray, so I don't draw them again. Obviously, there might be duplicates in here, depending on if I bought, past packs in the future, the same packs in the past, and not the future. But yeah, that's it for episode 1 of the Lone Rowsdower. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of using the Power by the Apocalypse dice mechanic mixed with Fate, mixed with D&D. We have a Frankenstein of 3 systems put together. So that's it for now. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. Ring that bell. And as always, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.